Hello everyone, Crow back again, and this is another episode of The Crow Show. Now, before I start doing pickups like I normally start out with, I just want to mention that if you haven't heard already from my Twitter or anywhere else I may have posted it, I was on the Operation Killscreen podcast last week. That episode was posted either Tuesday or Wednesday. So if you're interested in podcasts, I was actually a guest on the Operation Killscreen podcast. That is with Jumble Junkie, Sinister Moon, and Dog in My Lens. It was it was pretty fun. Yeah, I could have probably talked all night, but I was on there for like 2.5 hours as it was. I kind of listened to the edited down version. I really don't know how short the edited down version is yet. I downloaded it and I listened to parts of it just to hear how it sounded. It sounded really good, so I'm actually quite pleased with how that turned out. The Operation Killscreen podcast, the link to that episode will be in the description. Now we'll move on to pickups. But before I actually start doing pickups, I want to mention that I did go to the Midwest Gaming Classic yesterday. I think it goes from Friday to Sunday, maybe just a little bit on Friday, but I mainly went for Saturday. It was a 2-hour drive away. I did get pickups from there, but before I show off those pickups, I'm going to show all this other stuff that I got before that. So the very first thing isn't even video game related, but I feel it's so awesome I have to show it. Beetlejuice on Blu-ray. Now, I used to have the DVD, the original DVD version of this. It was kind of a crappy, bare bones. I don't even know if it was anamorphic widescreen. But when I saw this at Walmart it was either $5 or $10. I cannot remember. I want to say it was $5, but it's probably $10. But $10 is probably the max I'll pay for a Blu-ray these days. Just because I'm a cheap bastard. I mean, this movie's got to be really, really awesome for me to pay more than $10. Now, I saw Blues Brothers there on Blu-ray for $15, and I sit there and I'm like, oh, $15? Nah, I wait for $10. But Blue Brothers, awesome movie. This is an awesome movie as well. I'm looking at the special features of this. It includes 3 episodes of the animated Beetlejuice TV show, which was pretty cool too. Same characters, but slightly different situation for kids, and then it has a theatrical trailer, and that's it. It doesn't say there's anything else. So, you know what? To me, that's bare bones for a Blu-ray. But you know what? The movie itself is awesome. One of my favorite movies. Moving on. My wife, there happens to be a new play-in trade that opened up around our house. And my wife actually went there Friday while I was at work, and she picked up a bunch of games. It was funny because she texted me. I was like on my lunch break, and I was driving to Taco Bell. I was actually driving away from Taco Bell. And then my phone started going crazy. She sent me 5 text messages, and I looked at it really, briefly when I was at a stoplight. And I was like, oh, I just have to call because there's no way I could read all this. And she was kind of going through, oh, do you want this game? Do you want this game? Do you want this game? So we'll go through what we got. I got the Castlevania Adventure for Game Boy, which is the first Castlevania. Why won't you focus? Focus! Okay, you know what? You're not going to focus. Screw you. She got this for $8.99. She got the membership, which is the $10% discount. I thought this was a pretty cool game back in the day, so figured might as well get that again. She picked up Castlevania Circle of the Moon. Now, even though she asked me if I had this or not, I said we didn't have it because I thought I had. See, I actually bought this game like a week or so ago, but I was remembering it as a different game. So this is actually a duplicate, and again, this was $8.99. Still haven't played this game. She picked up Tailspin for the NES, and this was $7.99. Well, wait, it was $7.19. That's what she actually paid for it. So Tailspin. I heard this isn't such a great game, but it looks pretty cool. It looks like a weird shoot 'em up, so I might have to try that. Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap. So now we're at the point where we have so many Master System games that if we see one we don't have, we buy it as long as the price is decent, as long as it has the case. And if it has the manual. There might be an exception here or there with that, but for me, the case is important because it's a snap case. The instruction manual doesn't matter so much, but I'm trying not to buy them unless they have the manual. So, wow, Wonder Boy 3, the Dragon Strap. And then a game I didn't have, Golden X2, which kind of surprised me I didn't have. So this was $4.49. A Golden X2, and that has actually no manual. But since the manual is not so much as important to me as the cases, why I said go ahead with that. And then we got Revenge of Shinobi, another game I did not have. This was $8.99. No manual again. The case is really banged up, so I'm probably gonna take a duplicate game I have and swap the case out with that. If I have a duplicate game with a decent case. And I'm going to say finally, even though it's not really finally, I was thinking on about games. This game came up in my mind for some reason. And then it occurred to me that I never even thought about getting a copy of it. So I went on eBay and actually happened to win a copy of this game. And this is a Famicom game. And I was thinking, oh, that's a Famicom game. And then it occurred to me, wait a minute, I could play Famicom games with my NES adapter. And I also happen to have a rip-off Famicom from somewhere. I don't know. It's not a real Famicom, but it looks like one. But this is Wanpaku Graffiti, which actually is Splatterhouse for the Famicom, or Splatterhouse for the NES. I happen to actually see a U.S. conversion of this game, but it was going for a lot more than this was. I think I got this for under $20 with shipping. But this, I didn't know about the case because I'm used to seeing Famicom cases in little cardboard boxes, and this is like a plasticky, it's almost like a Genesis style clam case, and it's actually pretty tight in there. And I didn't know what, it's like, is this the real case? But sure enough, I got it, and it is the real case. It does have a little tab in there that says, Namco, why won't you focus today? Thank you. I don't know if you could see that. I could barely see it with the screen the way it is. But it looks like it has everything. It's got the manuals. It even has a warranty card information in Japanese. And what also struck me, and I didn't know that there were any Famicom case cartridges like this, is that it's a little bit bigger than a normal Famicom cartridge. So I will definitely be doing a Crow Plays video on this game sometime. It might be a few weeks from now because of the other videos I have lined up. But this was a game I was really interested. Here's some screenshots of the back. If it'll focus. You know what? Fine. Don't focus. See if I care. So let's move this stuff aside, and hopefully it doesn't fall in the cushions of the couch like it just almost did. Because I want to get to the Midwest Gaming Classic. This stuff is falling over. Please don't fall on the cushions of the couch. So yeah, we'll just start off with pickups I got from there. There was a huge vendor area, and I actually went back there about 4 times, and I just remembered that there's something I need to go get. I'll be right back. Alright, just came back. I forgot to pull out some of the stuff I meant to show on camera. So I just got that here. Because I was going to my mind what I was, we went to this vendor hall several times, and there was like a guy selling these weird sodas. He had normal sodas too, all in bottles, but there were some really weird sodas in there. I actually saved the bottle to this one I drank. It's and I tweeted this too, Kickapoo Joy Juice, which I thought was pretty funny. It was like it's kind of almost like a Mountain Dew-ish type of drink. And then there was another one. I haven't drank this one yet, and I'm probably going to try and drink this now. And I had to buy it. There was no way I was going to pass this up. Kitty Piddle. It says, it's so disgusting. And it says totally gross soda there. Kitty Piddle. So, what I'm going to do is try this out right now. I hope this is just a twist off cap. Yes, it is. So, we got the kitty Piddle. Actually, pretty good. It's like a mix pineapple and orange soda. It's actually pretty good. It is not so disgusting, kitty Piddle. But I had to show that off because it was just ridiculous. I also bought these. I have not drinking these yet, but you for about a week or two on the Operation Kill Screen podcast, and in there's a video of this on the Operation Kill Screen podcast YouTube channel they just put up. Dog in My Lens keeps talking about this drink, and I saw it there, and I bought a couple of them. And that is Ramune. I guess that's what it's called. And there's actually a marble in the top of this drink. You plunge it down, and the marble goes into the drink while you drink it. I guess it's some kind of soda. I'm not going to do this now. I just wanted to try it out. So I guess this is like the normal flavor. There's a whole bunch of flavors. I just got 3 of them. And then I got the orange flavor and the melon flavor. These were $2 each, and all these sodas here were $2 each as well. But you know what? Just to try something different, I think it's worth it. I don't think I drink this stuff on a regular basis. I really don't drink soda anymore. I definitely don't drink dark cola anymore. But something like this, I'm willing to try every once and again. So let's put these bottles out of the way so I don't knock them over and break stuff and get soda all over the place. Let's go some of the stuff that I actually had gotten from the show. The first thing I'm going to show off here is this Centipede Infestation headband. Now, I actually won this out of a claw machine. I don't know if you visit Techromancer's channel, but sometime in the past, he actually had gone to an arcade in DeKalb, Illinois called Star World's Arcade. Star World's Arcade actually had their own room at this Midwest Gaming Classic. And I actually met Pat from that place. I was going to say it again, but I don't want to. I was just happened to be there, and I saw him standing there. I'm like, hey, you wouldn't happen to be Pat, would you? And he knew all about Techromancer. He's like, oh yeah, that guy's full of energy, So yeah, I actually met Pat from Star World's Arcade, and they had this claw machine where it had these headbands in there, and I guess you put the money in and you keep playing till you win. But there's like little candy in there. I actually tried 3 times, got the headband. This is actually on film, and I actually have like half an hour of camcorder footage I have to edit before I could post it on YouTube to make it watchable. But me winning this will be in that video. Okay, and then something we actually bought was this Pac-Man pillow, a $9 pillow. My wife, like, her jaw dropped when she saw this, so we had to buy it. Let's see. Somebody got some business cards here. Oh, this is something this guy was handing out at one of the vendor booths. Cheetah Man: The Creation. This is apparently the book that originally came with the Action 52 cartridge, and he was giving this away for free. Now, the reason he was giving this away for free is because apparently somebody made I think it's a new Cheetah Man game. I'm very unclear on whether or not it was a new game or if it was just the original game from the Action 52, if it was Cheetah Man 2 or something like that, and they repackaged it. The thing is, though, they had it all selling, and they were selling the special edition box, and then they were selling the cartridge with a regular cardboard box, or the cartridge only, or something. I was kind of really unclear, but the prices were out of this world. The special edition box this guy was selling was like $499. And just for the cartridge, either it was a cartridge and the cartridge in the box or whatever, a regular edition was $199. And I'm thinking to myself, who in this day and age is going to be foolish enough to spend that much money on a Cheetah Man game? Not the original, a brand new one. It doesn't make sense to me. Or a reproduction. A reproduction of the original Cheetah Man game should not cost that much. Yeah, I mean, only the original, I guess, we would think would go for that much. But I digress. I was like, listen, I'm like $500. I was like, no, thank you, goodbye. But I'll take your book, because it is a weird comic. And it's really badly written too. It's just it's really like what? It's like one of those things that Linkara could probably cover really well. Also got some stickers, and these are stickers based on marquees, and we got like 11 of them. I think they were like they were $1 each, but if you buy like 10 of them, it was like $5, and I wound up spending like $7 on these. Got a sticker of the Pac-Man marquee, sticker of the Tetris marquee, got one for pole position, got one for asteroids, and we got one for Golden Axe, and got one for our Galaga, got one for Defender, got one for Rampage, got one for Splatterhouse, got one for Mr. Do, and the best one, Burger Time. So this is stickers. There was a let's see here. I don't even know what to cover first. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna go over what the very first thing I saw and I had to buy was when I was at the vendor area, and that was World Heroes 2 Jet. And I'd actually been looking for this game. I don't have a World Heroes game, but if I did have one, this was the one I wanted. But I wasn't ready to pay the prices I saw kept seeing on eBay for it. But they sold it for $44.99, so I thought that was a halfway decent price. So I picked it up. It has everything. Everything looks almost like brand new on this thing. It got the booklet, and then it even had the cartridge wrapped in cellophane. So it smells like a Neo Geo game, and it's basically because of the rubber they use on this case. Picked up a whole load of Sega Master System games we didn't have. Captain Silver. This has the box, or the of course it has the box, the manual and the cartridge. $12.95. Considon, I guess that's how you would say that, and that was $10. Got the I think that's good. Yeah, the cartridge and manual. Bomber Raid for $10. Got the cartridge and the manual. Rambo First Blood Part 2 for $5, which was, actually saw this at a disc replay, and they were trying to get rid of this for like twice as much, so I had to jump on this one too. Yeah, I got the manual and everything in there. Spy vs. Spy, which is a card game, and actually I played this on the Commodore and the NES. Pretty good game for 2 players. I got the it's a card and the manual, and that was $15. And then there was another booth. Actually, I'm gonna I might as well do these next. Famicom games. There was this booth had like a box full of Famicom games with prices on them, and then a box that didn't have any prices on them. The box that didn't have any prices on them were like, I think there were 3 for $10 or something like that. Like they were like $4 each or 3 for $10. I think that makes sense. So let me separate these out because I got them all clicked up. So my wife actually went through that whole box and kind of picked out some games and asked me which ones I wanted. So we wound up with this one, which I don't know what the name of this one. It's World Class Track Meet or stadium events here in the U.S. I don't know what the Japanese version of this is. And she just bought it because it had the same picture. So that's why we grabbed that one. I got Pinball for the Famicom, which I'm sure is exactly the same as the U.S. version. Dr. Mario for the Famicom. And we got Donkey Kong 3 for the Famicom. Space Invaders for the Famicom. I don't even know if there is a U.S. edition of this one, which is why I said to get this one. I don't remember seeing an NES Space Invaders cartridge. I mean, I might be mistaken, but that is something I think is Japanese only. And then Galaga. And then when I was in the slightly more expensive bin, I had to pick up these. Dynamite Bowl, because it was a bowling game I'd never heard of before. And I don't think there's a U.S. version of this. And then we got Hakoto no Ken 2, which I don't know if Fist of the North Star in the U.S. is this game or if it's another game, but I just had to get it. And oh, by the way, this was, if you didn't see the price tag, that was $6. This was $7. And then finally I had to pick up Burger Time for the Famicom. Why not? I have it for the NES, but I like the game so much. $6. This actually included the manual as well. And at another booth, wound up picking up Squish 'em Sam for the ColecoVision for $4.95. And finally, last trip to the vendor area before we left, I saw this, and at first I was like, I'm not going to buy this. And then we were walking away, and then it hit me. I was like, we have to go back and buy this. And that is a Turbo Duo control pad. And the reason I needed to get this is because I was thinking, I have a Turbo Duo, but I don't have the Turbo Duo controller. What I have is a TurboGrafx 16 controller adapter for it. Because when we got that system, the guy didn't actually have the actual Turbo Duo controller. And Turbo Duo Graphics 16 controller port and Turbo Duo controller port are different. So that's why I got this. It's like, it's $25. Really didn't need it. But this makes the system complete. So that's why I was like, you know what? Let's go back and get that. Kind of, have a Turbo Duo controller to go with the Turbo Duo system. So yeah, that was a lot of stuff that we actually picked up. Just a couple other things to go over while I was at the Midwest Gaming Classic. I did enter the pinball tournament while I was there. It was the first tournament I ever entered into. I didn't expect to do that great, and I'm sure I didn't. But I got to play 4 machines in that tournament. You have to pay per play, I guess. So, since I'd never played before, my first game was free. So I entered my name and got registered. And that game I was to play in C class, I guess, was Creature from the Black Lagoon. And I didn't do too bad on that machine for never had playing it before, I thought. But then once you play that machine, apparently you get automatically upgraded to B class. And then you could choose from a couple other machines, including that one again. And I got 3 plays for $10, I guess. So I played Gorgar, which I knew I was going to do awful on, and I didn't do as bad as I thought I was going to do on it. World Cup Soccer, which I used to play a lot, and I was hoping to do better than I actually did, but since I did better than the guy who played before me, I wasn't too upset about it. I mean, my game lasted really short. Well, shorter than I would have liked, but since I got so many goals in that time in that game, my score is not that bad. Well, I'm probably going to get creamed by the guy who actually wins, but... and then I had to play this game called Aztec, which is an older machine, and just to play it and see how it played like. I got maybe half the score as the guy that played before me, but it was fun to play. There was also a pinball machine there called Orbiter 1, and if you watch the Classic Game Room channel, you'd seen this pinball machine. It's a really weird pinball machine where the board isn't flat. It's curved in, and it has got little ramps and stuff, and the ball can rotate and orbit around the flippers. It does not play like a normal pinball machine at all. But they had that there, but the only way you could play it is by entering the tournament. So I put my $2 in to enter the tournament just to play Orbiter 1. That game is very, very difficult. I mean, and again, I got a better score than the guy who played before me, but I'm sure I didn't do all that great on it. But it was a fun experience. They had some other tournaments there, but I did not play them. There's a Pac-Man, I guess a unique Pac-Man style time tournament that they do with a Miss Pac-Man machine and a Pac-Man pinball machine. In hindsight, I might have wanted to just play that one too. Then they had another one with a NBA. There's an NBA something pinball machine, NBA Hang Time pinball machine. some tournament with that. I should have entered that one too. But you know what? These are the first tournaments I've ever entered, and I'm sure that whenever these tournaments pop up again in the future, I'll be all over that. Even though not to win it, but just to have fun, because I know I'm not going to win it. And then I saw a bunch of people there. Like I mentioned previously, I saw Pat from Star World's Arcade from DeKalb there, and he had a whole bunch of machines in his room. People from Galloping Ghost were there, and I know I would have known this if I'd looked at the website a little bit more in depth, but man, I just wanted to go in there being surprised. And then, one of my favorite game stores was in the vendor booths, Video Games Then and Now, and I recognized the guy that I always see that owns the store. And it was funny. I walked into the booth, and they had this weird PlayStation 3 controller. So I'm like, hey, how much is this what system is this controller for? Because I didn't know what it was for. What system is this controller for? And I was like, hey, it's you! And I was like, oh, yeah. And he told me, and I was like, I didn't know you guys would be here. And he's like, yeah, we've been here for the past 5 years. I was like, wow, I had no idea. And this is the first year I actually went there. And I was really surprised to see, and I would have known this if I'd looked on the website, but I was walking in the hallway and I saw Walter Day walk by from Twin Galaxies. So he was there, and then he had he was doing some speech, I think, in some area, so I'm doing. I really, didn't know what time that was or whatever, and I kind of just walked by because I was going to do the pinball tournament, so I was like, I'm going to do this pinball tournament. Need a drink. But yeah, I saw Walter Day there, and that was kind of cool. And like I said, I took a lot of footage, but I really need to edit that footage down to make it watchable because it's like a lot of jerking around, too many people. So I need to edit that footage down to make it watchable. And that was a long talk. So, shout out. Person I'm shouting out today, I've actually almost found out about his channel maybe a month or so ago, and that is Ed T1138. I love this channel. He's got a variety of videos, like from pickups, and he does a lot of video responses. But the thing that stands out to me with his channel is every Tuesday he does a top 3 Tuesday, which is kind of like a tag video. People, he gets a lot of responses from these. So he comes up with a topic, name your top 3 this or whatever, and you could either comment in or leave a video response. So I'm actually going to do a response right now for his last top 3 Tuesday, and that is 3 must-have items you are willing to overspend to get. So I've got the 3 items right now. The first item, Atari 5200 controller, because when I got the Atari 5200, it came with 2 controllers, and neither of them worked. Not only didn't they work, they were like really bad shape, so I didn't want to just repair them. So went on eBay, and I paid like between $30 and $40 for this rebuilt controller. It still acts like brand new, and it's gonna be more durable than anything I not anything I refurbish, but refurbishing those controllers in particular, because they need new rubber. They were all broken up. So yeah, I had to get this, and I was willing to spend more than I wanted for it just so I could play some Atari 5200 games. I still need another controller too. Second thing, this, and you might be wondering, well, what the hell is this? This is a adapter that lets me use Genesis controllers on the CDI, because I wanted to, when I got the CDI, all I had was the remote for it, and you could use the remote to play games, but it's really crappy. So I was looking for CDI controllers, and I had the hardest time finding it, and I kept getting outbidded and everything, so I found this adapter, and for this, I paid more than I wanted. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for this, but all I remember is I paid a lot more for this than I wanted to, but at least I was able to play the CDI games with a controller, and actually use this in upcoming Crow Plays videos. I do have some CDI games coming up. And finally, the thing I paid overpaid for that I had to have is this, the Neo Geo AES. Now, the reason I overpaid for it is because I had sold off a bunch of games and I had a whole load of money sitting in PayPal, and I ran across this system on some website. And now this isn't just a regular Neo Geo system. This has been modded. It's got the Unibios mod chip in here, and it's got component S-video and composite output, and it has an LED that glows. I paid a lot for this, a lot more than I should have, but I was just so excited. Neo Geo was one of those systems back in the day I really wanted, and when the opportunity arose, I was like, you know what, screw it, I want it. And actually, in hindsight, I'm not that disappointed with what I paid for it. So, but I did pay a lot, and how much you say, I don't quite remember. It's over $500, I know that for sure, and it did come with a controller. So yeah, let's end this episode so I could stop talking. Thanks for watching. See you all next time. Bye.
Never store combustibles with your old people.